Dwayne got that offbeat.
It was working on it. I started too soon is what happened.
Hey, we may have a rhythm section. We never said we actually have rhythm.
Yeah, right.
Welcome, by the way. This is OneFremont. This is our second show. We're all sitting here giving the stink eye to Lenny for not hitting record the first time around. But you were missing a great show.
We had some good stuff going on. Oh
it was brilliant stuff. I hope we can recreate some of the brilliance that was going on just a few minutes ago.
Way to make him feel bad.
We love him. He's doing a great job. He's the one that's helped us get this all put together, and so we appreciate that. Gosh, where were we? What were we talking about? This is OneFremont. This is our podcast, our show, our radio replacement, so to speak, to get information out to all the citizens of Fremont County and around the world, the millions and millions of people that are listening to this. And we appreciate them and you. And so thank you for joining us on this. We were talking a moment ago.
And we will talk again.
About this last weekend. We had the 4th of July celebration, Independence Day, fireworks. But that also led us into, this is our 249th birthday, our nation. And that led Commissioner Bell into talking about
our 250th celebration of our country as America. So it started with the fact that in 2011, Fremont County celebrated its 150th anniversary, which the state of Colorado will do next year as the Centennial State. So because that was the sesquicentennial, it made me wonder what the 250th anniversary was. I had to look it up. I freely admit that. And felt pretty good when the two of you didn't know what it was either.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I know exactly what it's called.
How do you know?
I'm throwing that out there because you didn't know. So
I want to take a stab at it too.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
I just was going to say, we did say it, but...
Excuse me, it's Dwayne's turn to talk now.
Do we remember?
We do.
Okay, we do. What is it?
It's the sesquicentennial or something. I don't know.
It is not.
Semi something.
The semiquintennial.
No.
Semiquincentennial?
There you go.
Yeah,
it is
there is a sen in there.
Semiquincentennial. Yes.
Semiquincentennial.
Yeah, you said you'd forget in 2 minutes, and I forgot quicker than that. So,
all right, fine.
Anyway, yes, the semiquincentennial. And Kevin was talking about expect some different things here in Fremont County as well to celebrate all of these huge birthdays that we're going to be having next year.
I imagine between the city, the county, of course, we're going to have something special here in the county building for those weeks surrounding July 4th and August 1st. August 1st is the birthday for Colorado. We'll have something special here in the building, and I imagine the city will as well, plus all of the other groups, the history groups that we have around the city and the county, including our own Heritage Commission. I'm looking forward to it. Things across the state as well. And across the nation. This is kind of a big deal. I was talking about this with some folks yesterday. I think most of us in the room are old enough to remember the bicentennial.
Absolutely.
I say most of us in the room.
Most of us. 3 of us. Let's put it that way.
Which was in
1976. And so
I got to ride a covered wagon down the Santa Fe Trail.
Oh, fun.
As part of a wagon train for the bicentennial. That was cool.
I feel like I'm choking on the dust just thinking about it.
That's pretty neat.
And Kevin, I don't know about you, but I know the coolest thing I did for that anniversary was they actually had a traveling Vietnam War memorial wall that was brought to Colorado Springs. And I was in high school at the time, and we took a class trip. You remember field trips? I mean, it's been a hot minute, I think, since many field trips have happened in school districts. But yeah, we took a field trip to Colorado Springs to see. It was a full size, and it was the coolest thing I had ever seen.
Wow, that is cool.
It's pretty amazing. It's a great memory.
And to your point, I do remember field trips. I remember them better than what I had for dinner last night.
Right.
That's apparently that comes with age. Just a reminder on what we're doing with this and our show, and OneFremont. We're looking at trying to keep folks up to date. What's going on in the county. In subsequent shows, we're going to have other guests in. Maybe we'll have a show with like one of the elected officials, like the assessor. She's extremely busy right now because they had an office move where they are doing some remodeling in their current digs, and so they're kind of housed over in our Garden Park conference room. Which this can just serve as a reminder for folks if you have business with the assessor's office. You can call them, set up an appointment if you need anything from them, but they're not taking walk-in. But they will do by appointment. They will do if you need copies, if you need to see a hard file or something else. If you need to meet with somebody, they will schedule that appointment, and you meet in the public area of the clerk's office. But you need to set that up with them, and so. Just a reminder on that, if you come in the front door of the county building, we are a little bit upside down and a little bit of a mess down in the front hallway.
You will definitely see the tangible proof that something is happening.
And as you can imagine,
yes,
the assessor's office has a lot of filing cabinets and a lot of paperwork, and most of those cabinets are out in our hallway. So if you come in our front doors, don't try to take a right. I mean, you can try.
You
ain't going to get very far. You're not going to be able to get over to the assessor's office window. So just a quick reminder on that. We will also be talking about talking with other groups besides our elected officials and the three of us. We're looking, actually, in a couple of weeks, I'm probably going to do a show with some of our one of our citizens groups, the Citizens Advisory Group. These are some of the folks that are watchdogs for our Cotter site out south of town here. They keep an eye on that site and our state and federal agencies and their oversight of that project and that Superfund site. And so look forward to doing that with them, and hopefully you'll listen to that show, and they're going to give us a little history on it and what's up and why it matters. Any other updates before we get into the meat of the show?
I think the only thing I would mention, and had planned to talk about it at the end, but now would be a fine time too, is that we have a national conference coming up this week, and we have some really fun things planned for that. So I just wanted to say, watch for our next OneFremont done by your Fremont County Commissioners. I think it's going to be kind of cool.
That will be fun.
Yep.
That will be fun. Commissioner McFall, anything?
Nothing to update right at this moment, I guess.
Just, I mean, the typical.
Yeah.
Careful with fires.
If
as we all learned,
if the controlled fireworks display can start such a blaze,
imagine
what a accidental chain dragging or a cigarette butt out the window or something could cause. So
great point.
It's unbelievable how dry it is out there. Even with the moisture that we've had, it's dry and it's going to burn. So don't help it. Don't start it.
That's a great point.
Careful.
Thanks for bringing that up, because that was a great fireworks display up until we didn't get to see the finale because Skyline Drive was on fire again. So, and that's something Commissioner McFall mentioned, is they were prepared.
They were prepared.
And and that fire still happened. And
well,
so,
thank God they were prepared.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. And just one last thing. We were talking about it before we started the first show this morning.
Where's that applause?
Yeah. There it is.
There we
go. That fireworks, that lightning display last night, it was one of the most impressive clouds. I didn't see anything or hear anything that came to the ground. It was all in the clouds, and it was lighting up this massive cloud to the northeast of town here, and wow.
I've seen some incredible photos on social media today. People were able to grab some just amazing pictures of what was happening last night.
And Caroline and I were doing the same thing and just sitting there going click, 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 and occasionally you'd catch the entire cloud lit up.
That's incredible.
It was fantastic. Glad it was over that direction.
I'm thinking it probably wasn't fantastic where it turned loose and dropped hail. And it wasn't a pretty sight. But yeah, that was pretty amazing the way that sky was lit up last night from that.
So a very impressive fireworks display last night, and a pretty good one on the 4th as well. But again, happy 4th of July for everybody. Happy Independence Day, and let's move on. Let's talk real briefly about our meetings, our last meeting and our upcoming meeting. I know the last meeting we had a couple of important things on there that happened, but the first one was Wholesome. That was, I think, a significant thing that happened that I don't know if you want to expound on that at all, but we are looking at a huge expansion. Debbie.
Yeah, absolutely. So Wholesome is now known as Amrize, Amrize. So everything has changed out there with their new identity. We also were able, after we took this vote, we were able to go out finally and take a tour. I've been out there several times because my husband used to work there. He did just retire. It's actually where I did my internship for IT when I was in college. I did a 3-year internship out there as well. So I do know more about it than a lot of people might. And folks sometimes wonder why. So that would be why. But the current quarry that provides limestone to the plant that is so integral in making cement is running out of time. They think they have a solid 3 years, maybe up to 5 years if they run it correctly. But that quarry has lasted them already over 100 years. And so that's quite a legacy here in Fremont County for them to try to continue. So they've been looking for the last 10 years or so, trying to figure out where they were going to go, what they were going to do, and they've been putting pieces into place. So they came to this board a week ago to open the new, I believe they call it the Red Creek Quarry, which is in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of south and east of the plant itself there in Portland. And it borders the Pueblo County line. So 2 sections of it are in Fremont County, 4 sections of it are in Pueblo County. So they need not only our approval and the state's approval, but they also have to get Pueblo County's approval to do this. So they came to us with a very, very lengthy application, included all of the information that we could have ever possibly needed. We took a look. I, unfortunately, had to recuse myself from that vote, maybe because I know a little bit too much, but just previous standing relationship with another group that I belong to as well. And so that, out of an abundance of caution, made me decide to step aside for that vote. But my fellow commissioners, it was still a unanimous vote, 2-0, to approve that new conditional use permit for that mine. And what that means for Wholesome and the, about 238 people who work out there is they're going to have another 100 years worth of limestone to be able to continue operating. And I think that's really exciting. I think that's really a good thing for everyone in Fremont County. Not every employee out there lives here, but many of them do. They are one of our highest paid employee groups. But in addition to that, if you drive on roads, if you own a home, if you walk on sidewalks, you use cement. And it's an integral part of our daily life. And quarries have to be part of that. So I'm just really grateful that they continue to do what they do. And it was really interesting having the opportunity to go out and actually take a look and see the plant about a week ago, I guess.
And as long as concrete is an important part of construction, and as long as limestone is an important part of making that concrete,
there you go. Yep.
There will be jobs in Fremont County for the next 100 years.
Absolutely.
It's a big deal. 1,500 acres more or less, and yeah.
I think one of the most impressive things to me about this new quarry is it's a 6.3 mile conveyor belt bringing that rock to the plant. and it's going to be an enclosed conveyor belt to cross ground that they also have either own or have permission to be on, and that's going to be a pretty impressive feat in itself. Seeing that they have a few conveyor belts out there now, but they're they say a mile and a half or something. Right. We're talking 6.3 miles, so it's going to be a pretty amazing feat, I think.
And my understanding is it's not a series of conveyor belts. This will be a single
solid one.
conveyor belt that twists and turns and goes where it needs to go.
And according to them, I mean, this is a very unique conveyor system, the only one of its kind, and for that kind of a product in the country. There are other conveyor belts. There are other longer ones in mining operations. There's one right here in Colorado, the Henderson mine up in Empire. They take the ore about 15 miles on a conveyor belt up to their processing plant. Quite the operation, but this is going to be unique in many other ways and would be an impressive sight to see. But I will tell you that if you look forward to seeing that sometime in the future, that is not something you will probably be seeing anytime. It is out in the middle of it is out in the middle of nowhere, and it will be crossing the ground and actually not crossing any creeks or anything. It will actually be taking turns and twists in that single conveyor system in order to avoid crossing waterways.
Yep.
Okay. That was a huge thing that we got done back on the 24th. Upcoming tomorrow, in fact, as we sit here today, tomorrow is our BOCC meeting, and we do have one significant thing, and it's kind of apropos considering what we were just talking about with the fireworks display and fire problems, potential fire problems. We do have a resolution. And now this is a little bit convoluted.
Confusing.
Yes.
Well,
it makes
feels
sense,
backward.
It's confusing. It does feel backwards.
Feels backward.
It feels backwards because mostly it is. We're trying to fix that backwardsness of how this is done with this resolution. So, Dwayne, you want to give it a shot?
Yeah, sure. So we are always in a fire restriction time. But we, as commissioners, have the ability to do a resolution tabling that fire restrictions where there are no fire restrictions. Now, the sheriff is the fire marshal of the county, and he's the one that makes the call as to when to go into fire restrictions in conjunction with fire districts, BLM, Forest Service. And then he comes to us to put this resolution back in play where there is a fire ban. And then within that fire ban, there's stages 1, 2, and 3, which are severities of dryness and what you can and cannot do during those times. And it's always been kind of difficult if we need to do it Wednesday, we got to wait 2 weeks until a BOCC meeting in order to do it, or have a special meeting just to do that. And with this resolution, it will give the sheriff, we will put the county back in a fire ban and give the sheriff at the same time with this resolution the ability to take it out of a fire ban and be as it always normally is, but then give him the ability within that fire restriction when it is in place to go between 1, 2, and 3 levels. So it's kind of convoluted, confusing, backwards, but it is the way it's going to be. And I think it'll make it easier for all of us, plus give the sheriff the ability to do it on a moment's notice rather than having to wait a day or two or at least 24 hours in order for us to officially do it. At any point, we can take that privilege back from the sheriff and put it in ourselves, but I don't know why we'd want to do that as long as everything's going right. So I think I got that.
I think so. You did okay. So I think the maybe the most important thing for our citizens to understand is we are either in a fire ban or the fire ban has been suspended. So one or the other. That has always come through us at a board meeting according to the sheriff's recommendation. And we decided, why do we need to do that if we're doing what he wants us to do anyway? Let's let him have full control. So the resolution tomorrow, that's what it's doing, giving him full control, not only over are we in a fire ban or has it been suspended, but also which stage of fire ban we're in.
Right. It certainly will help, I think, streamline that process. As Commissioner McFall made mention to us a couple of weeks ago, just this added step. If we have to do a special meeting or, where there's any delay of any sort and the sheriff wants it done, this allows the sheriff to do that. And
at a moment, yeah.
At a moment. I mean, if he needs to change the level, if he needs to change the stage 1, 2, 3, 14, whatever, then he can do that. And that's where we need to be. And so I think this is a good move for us. And then we can get
But
the
I know,
power in his hands.
you might be listening to this way after this meeting happens tomorrow on the 8th, but it's still going to be in play no matter when. That information is also available on our website, fremontcountyco.gov, where then it also shows you what level we're in, 1, 2, or 3, and what you can and can't do in those levels. The sheriff still will be responsible for a public notice of it going into restrictions. And so that information is still going to be out there and be available, and always a phone call you can find out as well. But don't think that this is a one-time thing and it's over. I mean, it's gonna fluctuate back and forth. Most of the time, we're not in any fire restrictions, but when it becomes necessary, which it's pretty necessary, it's dry out there. The fuel's in the forest and even out of the forest areas, as you saw on Skyline Drive, as mentioned the other day, it's dry. So we got to be very careful.
Talk real quick about the relationship there that the sheriff has as far as being for the unincorporated. He's our fire
marshal. Yeah, and he's got a great relationship with the captains from all the fire districts. We have Canyon City, we have Florence, we have Western Fremont, we have Tallahassee, Deer Mountain, all of those fire districts. A lot of them, when the sheriff decides to go into fire restrictions, a lot of them follow him just automatically because they are mountainous areas, especially out west. He's also in contact with the BLM and Forest Service and their experts because they do see the same traffic we see in the mountains of tourists and people using the mountain trails. So he tries to coordinate with all of them. BLM and Forest Service wait till the last possible chance to go into fire restrictions. But when they do, it's really dry out there.
Right.
And so it makes it easier for the sheriff also to, what's the word I'm looking for? Manage when there is a fire restriction in all of those areas. He knows that he can go ahead and use his law enforcement abilities. Where if this fire district is not, and this part is, just an unincorporated part is, it makes it really confusing. So it does help for them to be able to police
While
that.
they all manage their own areas, they do work in concert with each other
And I think, again, maybe the most important thing for citizens to know is the best, easiest, quickest way to find out if you can burn or if you can light a fire or not is to go to our website, because our IT department does a really great job of keeping that updated. They'll get that information, I would imagine, directly from the sheriff and keep that updated. So if you need to know, are we in a fire ban or not, that address would be FremontCountyCO.gov.
I want to just add to that. You said if you need to know to burn or not. That is true in unincorporated Fremont County. But if you're going to burn in one of the fire districts, you need to call that fire district to see if they allow burning directly. Yep.
Right. All right. In any case, please be careful out there. If you're burning anywhere, it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we're doing the best we can to make sure that we don't get we're not in the news next week.
And very true. And I kind of feel the need also to just say thank you to our firefighters who were there, who worked so quickly and so hard to get those fires on Skyline Drive put out. It's kind of funny. You look at social media and half of the people are saying, why do we still allow this? And the other half are saying, those weeds needed to burn. This is a great thing. So, it just depends on where you stand. I know everyone has an opinion. But still, we don't want the fire to go too far. And so I just really would like to say thank you to all those folks who helped put it out.
The thing about that is those same firefighters fought a fire earlier in the day north of Canyon City on Dinosaur Flat. So
that's right.
That's in Canyon City Fire District also.
Not an easy job.
And no, it was on BLM land. But yeah, those guys work their tails off when they work.
And not an easy place to get to up there in that Dinosaur Flats area. I think it was up there on the range, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
It looked like it.
Yep.
Well, okay. Let's talk about something else real quick. How about the upcoming County Fair, one of my favorite times
County
of the
Fair,
year.
what?
Ding, 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 ding.
Fremont County Fair. You know, we had
Where's it?
where's it?
There we go.
That'll work. Yeah. There it is. So the Fremont County Fair, you know, we get a week, it seems like, for the fair. Well, really, the fair is longer than that. Starting July 11th, they start with their shooting sports competitions. And that goes for a week or two where all disciplines of shooting, rifle, bows, muzzleloaders, shotguns. So those kids are at it early. The week that we do get, though, is the 24th of July through August 3rd, where all of those events happen at Pathfinder Park. And that's coming up really quickly. You know, the Fair Board, they start thinking about next year's fair the week after the fair starts. And you think, oh, we got a lot of time. And then pretty soon we got 2 meetings left. Oh, my gosh, we got 1 meeting left.
There is no time.
You know, they have a meeting tomorrow night, one left before this fair. And excuse me, there's a lot of planning that goes into this fair. And I got to give kudos to our volunteer fair board that does a ton of work on this. And it's not easy pulling these kind of events together. Between the rodeos, the kids' events through 4-H and FFA, you know, all the animals, all the exhibits that are inside, the crafts that people make and stuff, it's pretty amazing. So got to give them kudos for, first of all, for volunteering to be on this board.
Right.
And second of all, for the work that they do. Some of them had kids in 4-H, some of them still have kids in 4-H, and some of them may never had. So it doesn't have to be just a 4-H family or anything like that. It's pretty interesting, pretty neat. But it does start at Pathfinder Park Friday, July 25th. They have a rodeo that night. There's a junior rodeo. And those are always a lot of fun. A lot of local kids get out there and try to become a cowboy if they're not already one, right? It's pretty neat. And then on Saturday, there's a car show and a truck show out there. It's kind of an inaugural one. Those guys want to just have a car show. You know how the car show guys are. And then there's a rodeo that night, and that's the ranch rodeo. And that's where local ranches from around the area come in and compete against each other in events. And I'll tell you what, that's a good rodeo to go watch.
If you've never seen a ranch rodeo, my first one was a few years ago, and it was fascinating to me. But at the same time, it's actually pretty funny to watch.
It can be. It can be.
You're seeing them do things that you don't typically see at a rodeo. And those are really, that's what you do on the ranch.
That's what they're doing every day.
You're getting down and dirty.
Yeah.
And those are the activities that you're performing on a ranch. And so anyone who doesn't understand that, go take a look, sit there for one of these evenings, and you're going to know. And if you already know, they're still a lot of fun to watch.
And chances are you'll know some of them cowboys that work for those ranches that are out there competing.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Familiar faces out there. There's so many things. I mean, we're looking at the small print on this calendar that Dwayne printed out for us. And, just there at the beginning, all the stuff, the preliminary stuff from July 11th all the way through up until the 25th, when, the events really start hitting the ground running at the Pathfinder. But then, we see the dog show, the junior rodeo, as you were saying, car and truck show, the ranch rodeo, the 4-H show. And that's, did we mention the open?
No, we need to.
The open fair, the competitions, the quilters, the
bakers, the
bakers, the photographers, the gardeners, artists. Yes. Photographers and artists. I mean, if you have something you want to enter, we would love to have that on display out there at Pathfinder and join the competition. Something you've been working on, or that one special picture that you have of a lightning show from last night, frame it and bring it out, and join the fun with that. It is the last, I think this is our 4th year on site now. Is that right?
Like 3 or 4.
I think 4
I think it's 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
We're getting the head nod from Lenny over here. This is the 4th year out there, and we want that to just grow and fill that auditorium with your entries. We look forward to seeing all that.
That's a great point. The 4-H kids and the FFA kids have their projects out there that they've worked on all year. But yeah, it's open to anyone in Fremont County. Come on out and bring your wares out. I mean, if you do leather work, there's competitions for that. Your gardenings, your quilts, like you say. Used to be there were so many quilts there that you could have, put blankets on everybody, and they've kind of slacked off a little bit. But bring them back out and compete and win a ribbon and stick out your chest and tell them you won.
Be a little bit proud.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I will tell you, my mother, when she was still here, she did her own cross stitching and she did beautiful, beautiful work. And I finally convinced her that she needed to enter the open fair, and she did. And her second year of entering, she won a reserve grand champion. And I don't think that woman could have possibly been any more proud of that. I mean, she made everybody that she knew go out and take a look. I went out and took all kinds of official pictures with her out there. She was just so doggone proud of that. And that's a really cool memory for me. It's pretty amazing.
And it's no small thing to win anything out there in that open competition. There's some quality stuff out
Yes.
there,
It is
man
impressive.
alive.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So one of my favorite parts of the fair, the 29th, 30th, 31st, we have all of the 4-H shows, the livestock shows. On Tuesday evening, the 29th, the breeding goat show, the market goat classes in the show ring. The 30th, my favorite, this harkens back to my growing up days, the swine show. And then the market beef show and the breeding beef show as well, or the judging at least, on the 31st. So the 29th, 30th, 31st are those livestock shows. And then, of course, culminating in the livestock sale on Saturday the 2nd.
Saturday the 2nd. Let's back up once.
Yep.
Friday the 1st is the family. It's a senior celebration. First of all, they can go out there and eat breakfast. Senior citizens, complimentary breakfast of biscuits and gravy. And that is from the Beta Zeta sorority of Fremont County, as well as the Fair Board sponsor that event. And then it's Family Day. They have all kinds of events for your little ones to come out and play. You can there's a petting zoo, I'm sure. You get a chance to just play, bounce houses. You get to see animals that you don't normally get to see, in the towns. Pet rabbits, watermelon eating contest. That last year was something to watch, I tell you. It was neat. It wasn't just little kids either. It was adults as well, and it was fun to watch. But get out there and enjoy the day, enjoy the fair, check out all the exhibits that everybody has out there, see the animals. And Family Day is always a fun time for everybody.
The Salida Circus is
the
coming
Salida
back.
Circus is coming
That's
back.
always a lot of fun to watch.
Yep. They entertain pretty well and have been there for the last several years at the fair. So don't miss that on August 1st, Family Day and Senior Day. The seniors come out and eat breakfast and enjoy the fairgrounds.
There is so much happening over the course of those 2 or 3 weeks. You can get this calendar, the same one that we're looking at that Dwayne printed out for us. You can get this on our website. That website is, again, what?
Again, would be FremontCountyCO.gov.
Okay.
Yes.
And you can follow the links on that from our homepage to get to the fair and the calendar. Pretty easy to find. And so please do that. Look at it, check off what you want to go see, and please come participate in our open competition and the entire fair. The 4-H kids would love to have you in the audience cheering them on.
And then we need to talk a little more about that sale on Saturday.
Yes.
They do have a buyer's barbecue before the sale.
Right.
Those kids have worked for a long time on these animals, most of them for several months, getting these animals ready to show and fattening them up so that they're going to be good. But the sale is the end of that for those kids, for those animals. And that sale starts at, the barbecue starts at 2. The sale starts at 3:30. And those kids would enjoy you coming out and buying one of their animals too, and it's a neat ending for what those kids have put in the work for. I remember doing it as a kid. I showed sheep, swine, and beef, so I had lots of animals in this fair. But getting to sell them and making that money, that reward, it all went right back to animals the next year. But and your feed bill, but it is still a reward of all the hard work that you've put in on it. And so come out and give those kids that gratitude and tell them how good they've done.
You've just described the entire vicious cycle of raising livestock.
Yes. Once in a while, there's a little bit left over at the end of the year to put into a college
That's
fund.
right.
Yes.
That's right.
Hopefully.
And a lot of these kids do get to end up doing that at the end of their time with 4-H, and it does give them a head start going into their next phase of their life.
4-H is, I think, probably the best youth leadership training program that exists. I also had the opportunity to be in 4-H when I was growing up in Penrose. And unfortunately, my family never was able to have those livestock animals, but all my friends did. So, I was relegated to the kitchen and to the dining room table for sewing and for quilting and for cooking and baking and all those things, which I will have I also won my own reserved grand champion one year for the outfit that I made
had all that
when
in the
I
fair
was
as well.
12 years old.
Along with animals.
Yes, exactly. And so, but what I did was I was able to help all my friends. And so when it came showtime, if they were showing one animal here and they needed somebody, I was also helping my friends with showing, and just such great memories. But the lessons I think that kids learn growing up through 4-H, I don't think there's a better program to teach kids how to live on their own once they graduate.
It is fantastic.
Move out into the world.
I agree. 4-H, FFA is the same.
FFA
It's
is
really close to the
exactly
same. And I was
thing.
involved in
Yep.
both of those as well growing up. And I was actually a New Mexico State 4-H officer even. And I feel that helped me, to get through life to where I am today. So they are good programs. And right now, last I knew, there was a little over 200 and about 12 kids, I think, enrolled in 4-H. That could always be higher with the amount of kids we have. So encourage people to also check into 4-H and get your kids involved and
so I tell you, some of those, especially the little kids, are so cute during the buyer's barbecue because they walk around, they carry pictures, they got postcards to hand out, and they tell you, this is my little pig and his name is Tyler, and I have to sell him. But if you would come and bid, it's like, oh, buddy, I will absolutely be there to bid for you.
I've never had one that had the waterworks during the barbecue.
I actually have seen that.
Have you?
Yes, but afterward as well.
But in the sale ring, it happens quite often. And,
It sure does.
your heart breaks for them because they take care of and they.
And I'm telling you, if you don't get a little teary-eyed watching those kids, you don't have a heart.
Those animals mean a lot to them.
They do,
and
mean a
rightly
lot.
so.
Yep.
And it's just part of life, the life lessons that they learn, and I think that's really important, and why we love 4-H, and why we love those kids and their participation in it. And
Best
and a
program
thank you to the parents for making it possible for their kids to participate like
And
that.
our leaders and just
a lot of those
everyone
parents are
involved.
volunteer leaders for
Yeah.
clubs and helping with the fair and projects and different things too. Yeah, so thank you. To
It's a
all
big
of you.
deal. It's a big deal for the future of Fremont County, future of rural Colorado. We're very proud to support our 4-H kids and FFA, as Dwayne had mentioned.
That Saturday night, there's also a Colorado Pro Rodeo Association.
That's right.
Rodeo after the livestock sale is over. So come on out, and you may know somebody entered in that rodeo as well. I know we got a few locals enter in that rodeo, and it's always a good time. So come to the livestock auction and stick around for the rodeo.
And I'll tell you, if you've seen one rodeo that weekend, you've seen one rodeo, because look at the different opportunities we have, right? The junior rodeo with little kids who sometimes are barely walking, it seems, out there taking care of those big animals. And then you have the ranch rodeo, and then you actually have the professionals come out the last night. So there really is something for everyone. It doesn't matter what level of rodeo you appreciate. You should be able to appreciate them all. They're great.
There's something for everyone.
There absolutely is.
Key dates, Buyer's Day, of course, August 2nd. The day before that, the Family Day on August 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Just so much going on. Please get the schedule offline and check that out and pick and choose what you want to come out and participate in and watch and attend. We'd love to have you out there and make Fremont County Fair another raving success.
Hope to see you all.
Fantastic.
Show up.
Anything else?
No, yes, very important. There is no cover charge to get into the fair.
There is to the rodeos, though.
To the
the
rodeo,
rodeos there
yes,
are,
but not to get into the fair. So.
Exactly. And so, as far as I know, there will be booths and whatnot and food trucks.
Food trucks.
Especially on Family Day.
Especially on Family Day, but there are some food trucks I believe have committed to be there all week.
So
So that's a good deal.
come out and help support them as well. I
Absolutely.
mean, they're
Local
taking their time
businesses.
out in local businesses with food trucks and other vendors and other information booths and things like that. So please visit all of those. Spend your dollars at with our local restaurants and eateries and their food trucks, and we look forward to seeing you out there. Run one of us down, not with your vehicle, but chase us down.
Preferably.
And tell us what you think about the fair, and we look forward to seeing you out there. Anything else that we need to cover today?
I think we're good.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Well, fantastic. Then we will, hopefully the next time the three of us sit down and talk, we're still working on the logistics of this, but we may be talking to you from sunny Philadelphia.
Far, far away.
Far, far away. Anyway,
It's going to be fun
it will be fun from the
informative.
city of our nation's birth, in the city of brotherly love. That is it, folks. This has been One Fremont, and we are happy to bring you the information that is critical to understanding what's going on in Fremont County and what's coming up. And so, signing off. This is One Fremont.
Thanks for listening.